welcome to EDUC5429 Assessment 1 Group Presentation Video Guide. You will notice from the onset of this assignment that it is different to other group presentation assignments where it is not like in a lecture format, it is very interactive. So this is the scenario for your group presentation. You are teachers and the principal has asked you and your year group or curriculum areas to plan and deliver a session at your next school PD. That's Professional Development Day, on a teaching strategy or activity or resource that you have been using effectively with your class. So you can see this is a photo from a couple of years ago, one of the groups during their presentation, and you can see it is highly interactive and it is definitely not a lecture format. So where do you go finding Assessment 1 information? So we have the face there. So the general assessment brief is in the unit outline, and then the general assessment brief with supporting guides, presentation topics, helpful materials and links, other documents required, marking rubrics, Turnitin submission links, all can be accessed via your assessment folder on LMS. So I'm going to give you a little tour in the group presentation folder. Now you can see we will go to our LMS page, click on assessment. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Go to group presentation. And you can see here I have the printout guide that is also in your unit outline, but I've also pasted it on the front here so it makes it easy for you to read if you're on this page. The video that I'm recording is going to be here. The sign-up sheets that we're using in class will be here, and you can see there is all the other documents that you need and any supporting information. On your view, you will access this, if you can see my cursor, in this table of contents, and you just click on whatever document you want to look at and we'll bring it up. So let's open up, look at this guide. So Assessment 1 is, has a weighting of 30%, needs to be 20 to 30 minutes long, just one activity, and you'll have 8 PowerPoint slides to support your presentation. The presentations will run between weeks 4 and 10, and but then there might be a couple of weeks that we don't present, so you will need to be observant of what we tell you in class, and also mark that off on your schedule. With this presentation, it's presented in class, but there is part of the documents that you will need to submit on LMS so that I can open your gradebook and upload your mark and your rubric. So I'm just going to go to general parts. I'm going to read it out word by word. It is a group mark out of 100. You have the checklist here of what you need to bring to class and on the day of the presentation. So you need to bring these 3 things: the printed copy of your PowerPoint, infographic or any handouts you use in the presentation, your completed peer self-assessment document, and 1 copy of the marking rubric. And I'm just reminding you here, it's not a lecture style presentation. These are your topics. And there's a note for H and Health and Phys Ed students. Your focus on the themes can include like any of your minors or Health Ed, Indigenous games, dance, sport heroes, healthy food, bush tucker, and any other subject or topic that will link into your Health and PE course. I have a guide for the infographic, so you need to go and click on these links, and I've also got more information further down in this folder. So I'll read through this guide for the group presentation. So you need to choose a topic based on your activity, teaching strategy or resource according to the themes for each week that's listed in the topics. And you need to research and choose a culturally appropriate activity, teaching strategy or resource that will support embedding Aboriginal perspectives into a learning area and or will support the educational achievement of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students. You will need to prepare a PowerPoint, an infographic and any required sources that will enable you to engage our class or your future class in the activity. The presentation needs to consist of an acknowledgement, a brief introduction, a brief overview and justification of the activity, and then your group engaging the class to take part in the activity. You need to plan and organise and carry out this activity as if you were conducting a professional development activity in a school for your fellow teachers to effectively use this activity, strategy or resource in their classes. That is why you need to create the infographic for your class peers, and that includes brief points of why this activity is significant and information about it and how to use it. You can use QR codes to provide your fellow teachers to access any of the resource or information you have used. Your group will complete a non-graded peer self-assessment, and the sheets, those documents are in the folder, and each of you will hand that in to your tutor as well. There will also be a non-verbal graded confidential peer assessment, so the previous presenters will give you feedback, and it will just be a 5-minute verbal feedback that you can do outside the classroom. And I think this is really important. It's more important in some ways than my feedback, because I'm looking at it from an academic point of view, but your peers are actually looking at it from a teacher reception or receptive point of view as human beings. So they will come up with different feedback to me. So an example of your 8 slides, what your PowerPoint should include, you'll need a title slide with your group members listed, and that will briefly introduce you and your group. You'll need an acknowledgement of country, and then you need slides 3 and 4 can be a brief overview and justification of the activity, strategy of resource, and what we will be doing. And then the next couple of slides can be instructions and information needed to complete the activity, so that's that the class can follow. And slide 7 could be a reflective or concluding task or thought or comment, and slide 8 will be your reference list in APA style. So in a nutshell, that is what the group presentation should be. Please take note of the evaluating resources documents that we have here for you. So quickly open this. If you're unsure of whether you have an appropriate resource, you need to consult these guides. So these are invaluable. You need to keep these with you all the time and take them with you on your pracs and on your teaching. So let's have a look. That's a general evaluation resources guide, and then here's the search for evaluating resources, and you need to go to Narragansett website. You can see it up there, and that's where you will find the general evaluating resources, and you can find some specific ones as well for your teaching areas. So, what does interactive and engaged look like, sound like, feel like? So hopefully this will give you an idea of what you should be presenting and doing in the class, and what we should look like that we're doing while you're presenting. So the look, hands-on material, people in groups or pairs, resources and materials in use, people moving around, people looking at and talking to each other. Now, what will the presentation sound like? Well, of course, we'll hear voices, questions. It can be loud and silent spaces. It could be laughter, talking, sound of paper, materials and resources. So there is sound from everyone. And what might it feel like? You should be able to feel energy, vibrant, maybe awkward spaces, welcoming, safe, happy, expectant, maybe a bit nervous. So that's what your presentation environment or climate should look, sound and feel like. So yes, you can do it. Sorry about the corny slide at the end. If you have any questions, always email myself if you're in my class, or your tutor if you're not in my class. So I wish you all the best and have fun.